Welcome back to Breakfast Daily on City TV. And remember, yes, it's March, it's Heritage Month, and City is the originator of Heritage Month,
yes,
okay? And all things Heritage Month. So hashtag Heritage Month on City, hashtag Breakfast Daily, and you can send us a WhatsApp message as well, 0550 585832. At the beginning of the show, we asked you what's the difference between fugu and batakari. So if you've got an answer for us, please do send it to us. We'd love to know. And stay tuned for everything else we're doing for the rest of Heritage Month, including the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar.
Yeah.
Right? That's going to be awesome on the 26th and 27th of this month. And our on-air series will continue today as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But right now, well, this kind of falls in line actually with Heritage Month, because we've been talking tourism.
Yes.
We had the Heritage Caravan, you know, they went all across the country looking at different tourist hotspots. And one town in particular has popped up on the radar. And it's interesting because this is a town that is the birthplace and resting place of our first president from the northern parts of the country, Dr. Hilary Mann. But it looks as though it hasn't had much attention for decades, right? Now, the name of the town is Gulu. Gulu. And we're going to take a look at a report that our colleague did on this. Latif Mahama has been in the area, and he's going to bring us some insight into what's the situation in Gulu, a historic tourist, potentially great tourist town. Take a look at this.
The Heritage Month is celebrated in March every year on City 97.3 FM and City TV with educative, informative and entertaining activities, both on air and outdoor. Heritage Month has always had activities such as the Heritage Caravan, which took people around tourist sites to explore Ghana. As this year's edition is underway, we explore the tourism potentials of Gulu, which happens to be one of the major towns in the Upper West region with key tourist sites. The area is the hometown and burial place of Dr. Hilary Mann, who served as president of the Third Republic. It also hosts the biggest known baobab tree in the country and known for one of the most prominent traditional bone-setting centers in Ghana. Another exciting tourist destination is the Gulu Slave Defense Wall. This notwithstanding, the town is one of the most deprived district capitals in the Upper West region. Roads in the Gulu town are in such a deplorable state. This health center, which was constructed in the early 70s, is serving as the district hospital. The few staff at the facility are inundated on a daily basis with referrals not only within the district, but also from neighboring Burkina Faso.
I must be frank, health situation of the district is not the best as we expected. We are in the rural area and we have no other facility than the government facilities. In the developed or standard district, let me put it that way, they have other private facilities that if the government facility is not able, they can lay hands on and access services. But in Gulu here, it's different. All facilities are Ghana Health facilities. And unfortunately, the Ghana Health facilities only we have as a district are nothing to write home about. The structures, most of them are put up by the community members themselves. And you can imagine using mud or other whatever structures to put up a building by community members without any standard. So you go to the facility, no enough room for the nurses to stay and even render services. But because we know it's a rural place, we are all sacrificing. But I think something has to be done. The hospital, if we go there, there are women and children. We just have 2 wards. 2 wards for a whole hospital. And then we have another small cubicle for the maternity activities. The one of the wards is for women and children. You go here, you see women and children all admitted together. And the other ward is for men only. And you know, putting people together with different diseases, what will be the impact?
With just this single functioning vehicle, both staff and patients at the Gulu Hospital are compelled to be at this deplorable age-long facility, which has not seen any major expansion or renovation since its establishment, thereby affecting the tourism prospects of the town.
We are having a very huge problem about it. Incidentally, we went to President Akufo-Addo in 2018, November 2nd, 2018, to plead with him to give us a new hospital. He agreed because we told him that if you go to the so-called Gulu hospital, coming from west into Gulu town, you see the Gulu Health Center. And from Tumu, coming or from town to the hospital, is so-called hospital. But it's not a hospital, it's not even an improved health center. The males and females are sleeping in one ward. Can you imagine that kind of hospital? As if it's a war zone. So we are pleading, we thank government that they want to build new hospitals. And we had pleaded, incidentally, we also had, or we read that Gulu is among the new hospitals. So please, can you help us? We are suffering.
Recounting the history of the Gulu slave war, Korobukti Liman, who happens to be the brother of the late former President Dr. Hillel Liman, decried the neglect of the area by successive governments.
If you come to the palace here, Gulu and the Gulu paramountcy was one of the few paramouncies that built anti-slavery defense walls in the 18th century. Now you can see that in the history of some Europeans and some Africans, they say there was no fight against slavery. But our people did it. Tanja, Kuru Tanja, the first, and the people, his elders, and the villages surrounding Gulu built defense walls. You can see ruins of the defense wall outside my palace. And it took other villages to come and help. And Gulu was, what will I say, a place where they took refuge, like a center where they come to take refugee status. That's what they did in the 18th, 19th century, up to date. Now, tourism authorities were supposed to come and help us. They have sent a lot of, what will I say, surveyors to come and survey here, and tourism personnel, and their, what will I say again, contractors to come and do the work. But they come, they don't do it. Can you imagine bringing a fitter, not a fitter, a mason, a carpenter, and a painter to come and do only one room over 6 months ago, or getting to 1 year now, from Minister of Tourism in Accra, a mason, a painter, and a carpenter to come and do one room. When we go out, I will show you that place. And they said they are coming, which is not true. They haven't come. Even it's ridiculous that they will bring a mason, a simple mason, when they could have gotten those masons in Gulu here.
Some residents of the Gulu town complained about the poor nature of roads and school infrastructure in the town and appealed to the government to intervene to increase the tourism prospects of the town.
School diani were be willing to hand a one. School diana, Jonoang, Achanga, Vanachana, a Wutelli, Aturala, school be more, huh? Tintina to Topala Hana or Anna, Tintina Truri. 1 hour who hadn't gone.
Let's school. In a mule school. School to a more ubiche. In a bena lahachina and dear bena hatas in a school of a bunna. Ka this namananga bunnacha. Nangama pentina ucha.
Our basic schools are very disastrous, deplorable. Some of them sit on chairs and stools, and even on the floor. So you can go to the Gulu LA primary school and you see what's up. The walls are cracked, and there's no renovation on any of them. So we are urging the government, especially Minister of Roads and Highways, to come and help us. Incidentally, the president says this is the year of roads. We need roads here.
As Ghana strives to explore the full potential of the tourism sector, there is the need to invest in the Gulu township to give the area a facelift. This will attract tourists and rake in the needed revenue for development, not only in the Sisala West district, but the country as a whole.
All right, so that's a report from the birthplace of our third president, who is actually the first president from the northern parts of Ghana, Dr. Hilary Mann. It's very disturbing on so many levels, you know, that we still have an important, significant town like this in this state, that we find it still in this state. There are a number of things that don't make any sense to me. How it is that, as the man was speaking there, you know, you can employ local labor to do things there in the town, yet you choose to suggest that you're going to bring people from Accra or wherever else apart from the local labor. I don't understand that. You know, even if it's a matter of saying that, listen, send us maybe 10 people from Gulu. Let's take them through a 1 month, I don't know what you would call it, like a training, or, you know, some kind of a refinement program so that we know that they're going to deliver according to certain standards that we have agreed on, right? And then we send them back to go and work and deliver the job. Why would you deprive them of the opportunity of having people within the community get some work to do? You see, this is just one of the many different things that are just going wrong.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. Well, we'll be speaking to the DCE for Sisala West. The Sisala West district is the district where Gulu is located, and Gulu is actually capital of that district. Now, the DCE's name is Aisha Imoro Batong Ho. Maybe she can give us some more insights into what's going on in her district and some of the tourism potential that maybe we're missing as well. Good morning, Aisha. Hello? Hello? Good morning. Honorable, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, your line is not too clear. Okay, that's a bit better. Hello?
I'm just trying to relocate. Okay, so I can hear you. I can hear you.
Madam, if you are, can you please turn off your television? I think there's a bit of interference.
I'm actually at the moment in a meeting with the education minister. I started having a television. I just moved out to the county hall.
Okay, there's quite a bit of feedback in the background.
Yes, I am in the Ministry of Education in Accra, and so probably, I don't know. I was already in the meeting, I had to move out.
Okay, no problem.
Control the noise at the moment.
Okay, as long as we can communicate, we should be fine. But you're live on Breakfast Daily, and we'd just like to chat with you briefly about your district and the tourism potential there. So, how about this? I don't know anything about Gulu, and I meet you, and I say, Madam DCE, why should I come and visit Gulu? What would you say to me?
Yes, I would say yes. I'm going to say yes, probably with some reason.
Hello, can you hear me?
So,
yes.
Yes, I can hear you. So if you meet me, you ask me, can you, as a visitor, can you visit Gulu?
And why should I visit Gulu? Why should I visit Gulu?
So I'm going to tell you that yes, you should visit Gulu because we have a lot of good stuff around there. For example, you will have to get to know that Gulu has ever had a president for Ghana before, so it's one of the reasons why you should want to visit Gulu. And if you visit Gulu and get to know that this was a place where a president came from, one of the republics, you will be shocked to realize how bad Gulu is. So even the fact that it doesn't look nice should be a reason why I want people to come and visit. Now, when you come to visit, I will be able to tell you that there are certain tourism potential that we need to tap. If you go to Gulu, if you go to the palace, remember that before then we had a defense wall. So that means the people of Gulu were so determined to prevent and protect the people of Gulu. This defense wall was built by the people of Gulu with their own energy. And this wall is now at a dilapidated state and needs to be renovated and worked on for people to know how determined people of Gulu are. Now, aside that, we have so many tourism centers. Look, as I speak, we went and then dug a borehole at a place called Warako. This community, if you go there, there is this hill that if you get inside, you will be shocked to see some structures that people build to protect, to prevent our people from being carried away by our slave masters. These structures are over. And one challenge is that it's so nice. It's so you still find natural habitats like everything about nature is in that community. You get there that the road network is so terrible. Even with a motorbike, it's so easy to access there.
Okay.
So if you go to Gele, if you look at Sotalawe, we have another tourism area called Gele. I can talk about almost every animal that is in Ghana can be found in Gele reserve. But it's been abandoned. But still, the people of Gulu are trying very hard. The people of Gulu are trying very hard. That you get there and you will so love to be there. Because you will get to feel nature. You will get to feel the real nature of northern Ghana. Yes.
Okay, so from everything you've said and from the information our colleague Latif brought in his report from Gulu, it looks as though it's the perfect town to be positioned as a historic place for remembering. A historic place for remembering, people who were against the slave trade, people who tried to protect residents there. Now, if that is so clearly defined, what is it about the lack of investment there? If I'm an investor and I want to invest in the potential tourist destination Gulu, how do you as a DCE convince me to put my money there if government hasn't done their parts to improve the infrastructure? So if somebody is watching and they think, oh, there's so much potential here, I want to go and invest in rehabilitating some of your tourist sites, what would be the interest for an investor?
Okay, so as it were, yes, government cannot do everything, but we need to put the true leaders or the courageous leaders to help government to do that. But of course, most often it starts with you or we. Just as I'm there, it starts with me. So right now, I cannot talk about the past, but I can talk of what is happening now.
Okay.
So my role as a DCE is to go out there and fish out from government to the private sector. That is exactly what I'm doing. You realize we have very bad road networks. And if you get to understand democracy, you will realize that you can't just sit and expect that government will carry and come and say, take your part. So you have to go out there and talk and convince government or whoever why they need to come back and invest in your district. So my role as a DCE, that is exactly what I'm doing. Just trying to network with people, get them to understand the current state of Gulu and why that they need to invest in Gulu. And just as I put it, or you can see, it is just to ensure that basic or what we all need to know about slave trade or our history or the past is represented. And to get to know that you need to know where in Upper West that you come to Gulu, especially to Gulu Palace. Now, as a people, when you look at Palace, we are not lazy, we are very hardworking, but of course we need to be encouraged. The super or the West person is a very hardworking, and so for that matter, we are looking at getting the people of Sotala West, or I am looking at get the people of Sotala West to start thinking of what I do for my district.
What is the main occupation of the residents in your constituency?
We are basically into farming, agriculture. We are into agriculture. That's why I say we are lazy. If you look at every Sotala, it's in a household has not less than 5 hectares of land that we cultivate. And most often our challenge is that we have very bad road network. It's sad, I don't want to talk about it. But like I said, I understand democracy and I understand we need to do it ourselves. We need to go out there and get people to come and help. in the government. So for now, we need to work on our roads.
Okay.
If our roads are worked on, because necessarily potential investors look at so many things that includes infrastructure. So when the infrastructure that is so big, then they don't consider it a good place to invest. So if we have a few infrastructure, especially like road network, and we have some health facilities, especially one other thing is our network. If an investor is coming to invest and he realizes that to make a call will take him, he has to move so many miles to be able to place a call. It's all this incentive.
It's all this incentive. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but we appreciate you speaking with us on Breakfast Daily, and we'll do our best to keep following up with you and to shine a bit more light on Gulu. And hopefully the powers that be are listening. So that was the DCE for Sisala West, Aisha Imoro Batong Ho. Again, she's the DCE for Sisala West in the Upper West region, and she's giving us some information about the tourism potential of the area and their challenges. And it seems as though, in her mind, the biggest challenge is their road network, the lack of infrastructure, road infrastructure there. She says if that is solved, she believes there'll be more investment there, and people will be more willing to visit the place, patronize the tourist sites, etc.
I agree to an extent, but not entirely. You see, there are people who will brave whatever circumstance they have to brave because you've told them about a story, an experience, and they are looking forward to the experience, right? And so, yes, road network may not be great, right? But we're looking for the experience. I'm more interested in what efforts have they made to preserve what they have. Notice that her opening line was, the energy of the people of Gulu was used to build the wall.
Yes.
What stops her as DCE from marshalling the energies of the people to restore the wall using the same material?
From what she's saying, they are hardworking people, but resource-wise...
Forget about resources. I'm saying forget about resources because the people who built the wall initially did not use what you're looking at in terms of government funding to build the wall.
Yeah.
And the wall is there.
But that was
it's just
18th
breaking.
century.
Yes.
This is 21st century.
But is there no mud?
It's very different.
Is there no mud?
When the castles that were built in the 15th century.
Listen, have you seen the picture of the wall? You see the picture of the wall? Is there no mud in the area? Has the mud finished? Is there no water? It's mud and water.
It's one thing.
Yeah, I'm just...
And of course, you need, aside the wall, you also need other things around it to attract tourists.
I'm saying that
you
it's
need accommodation.
mindset.
You need... And then she said,
right?
she said that a lot of the places are inaccessible, even by motorbike. It's that bad. So I think, aside the site itself...
But the wall itself is by the main road.
I mean, I can't speak because I haven't been there. I don't live there.
But I'm just telling you that wall she's talking about is by a main road, which is actually a tarred road. Yes. You see, so I'm just saying that preserve the wall. I think it's more of a mindset thing, right?
You think so?
There's a resource challenge. It's real. I'm not belittling that.
Very real.
But I'm just saying that
as a district,
when you're looking at a mud wall that's breaking down and you're saying that you need resources to do that.
Well, this again, I can't speak to it, but I think the challenge is how do you distribute the resources, the scarce resources you have as a DC, especially when it's all coming from central government for the most part. So if you've got dilapidated hospitals and bad roads and tourist sites that need to preserve, how do you distribute those resources? I mean, again, she's the DC, I'm not, we can only speculate, but let us know your thoughts on this. Maybe you're from Gulu or you're from that area. You can tell us your thoughts, okay?